Reggie, I just sold my car online.
Let's go, Grandpa. Wait, you did?
Yep, on Carvana. Just put in the license plate, answered a few questions, got an offer in minutes. Easier than setting up that new digital picture frame.
You don't say.
Yeah, they're even picking it up tomorrow. Talk about fast.
Wow, way to go. So, about that picture frame.
Forget about it. Until Carvana makes one, I'm not interested.
Car selling made easy. On
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
Unmasked. The CIA's Operation Mockingbird, how your mind was hijacked and how to fight back now. Who's really in control of what I believe? Imagine a world where the news you trust, the stories you read, and the voices you hear are not the product of independent journalists seeking truth, but of a shadowy government agency pulling strings behind the scenes. Imagine a reality where the headlines shaping your perception of war, politics, and society are carefully crafted to serve hidden agendas, not to inform, but to manipulate. This isn't science fiction, a conspiracy theory, or a dystopian novel. This is history, your history, and its echoes reverberate through the digital cacophony of today, louder and more dangerous than ever. Welcome to the electrifying truth of Operation Mockingbird, a covert CIA program that infiltrated the heart of American media, turning trusted outlets into weapons of propaganda during the Cold War. But here's the chilling kicker. Its legacy didn't die, it evolved, metastasizing into the modern age of advertising overload, disinformation, and psychological warfare. Today, as you're bombarded with headlines, ads, and social media posts, the ghost of Mockingbird whispers in your ear, urging you to question, who's really in control of what I believe? In this hard-hitting expose, we'll rip the veil off Operation Mockingbird, exposing the documented facts, the shocking revelations, and the insidious ways it shaped the world you live in. But this isn't just a history lesson, it's a wake-up call, a battle cry, and a spiritual summons. In an age of lies, you must pray, discern, and think for yourself to break free from the chains of indoctrination. The stakes have never been higher, and the truth has never been more electrifying. The birth of a shadowy beast. Operation Mockingbird unleashed. Picture the scene. It's the early 1950s, and the world is a tinderbox. The United States and the Soviet Union are locked in a Cold War, a global chess match of ideologies where the prize is nothing less than the minds of humanity. Communism is spreading, and the U.S. government, gripped by paranoia, decides it must fight fire with fire. Enter the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, a fledgling agency with a mandate to protect national security at any cost. Under the leadership of Frank Wisner, head of the Office of Policy Coordination, and later Allen Dulles, the CIA's iron-fisted director, a chilling plan is hatched. To turn the free press, the supposed guardian of democracy, into a weapon of war. This plan, later dubbed Operation Mockingbird, was as audacious as it was diabolical. Its goal? To infiltrate, influence, and outright control major media outlets, both in the U.S. and abroad, to shape public opinion in favor of U.S. interests. The CIA didn't just want to counter Soviet propaganda, they wanted to own the narrative, to dictate what you, the American public, believed about your country, your enemies, and your world. And they succeeded, shockingly, terrifyingly so. The evidence is undeniable, carved into the annals of history through congressional investigations, declassified documents, and the brave work of investigative journalists. The U.S. Senate's Church Committee, convened in 1975 to probe intelligence abuses, dropped a bombshell. The CIA had cultivated secret relationships with approximately 50 American journalists, turning them into witting or unwitting assets. These weren't fringe bloggers or tabloid hacks, these were the titans of journalism, the trusted voices of the New York Times, CBS, Time Magazine, Newsweek, and more. But the Church Committee only scratched the surface. In 1977, Carl Bernstein, the legendary journalist who helped uncover Watergate, blew the lid off in a Rolling Stone article titled, "The CIA and the Media." Bernstein revealed that the CIA's tentacles reached far deeper than anyone imagined, ensnaring over 400 U.S. journalists in a 25-year span. These journalists weren't just reporting news, they were planting CIA stories, suppressing inconvenient truths, and acting as the agency's eyes and ears in newsrooms across the country. Overseas, the situation was even worse, with major U.S. news agencies' foreign branches serving as conduits for CIA propaganda, spreading anti-communist narratives to destabilize governments and prop up U.S.-friendly regimes. The term itself, Operation Mockingbird, first surfaced in Deborah Davis's 1979 biography Catherine the Great, which claimed that Frank Wisner recruited Phil Graham, publisher of The Washington Post, to spearhead a systematic program to infiltrate American media. Davis alleged that by the early 1950s, the CIA owned respected journalists, editors, and publishers at major outlets, creating a propaganda network so vast it rivaled the Soviet-funded International Organization of Journalists. The smoking gun. Declassified secrets in the family jewels. If you're still skeptical, let's dive into the declassified evidence, the smoking gun, that proves the CIA's hands were dirty. In 1973, the CIA compiled a classified document known as the Family Jewels, a 700-page dossier detailing covert operations that potentially violated the agency's charter. Buried within its pages is a reference to Project Mockingbird, a 1963 wiretapping operation targeting two American journalists, Robert Allen and Paul Scott, suspected of publishing classified information. The CIA intercepted their phone calls, spied on their conversations, and tried to identify their sources, all without a warrant, in a move legal scholars later deemed likely illegal. Some argue that Project Mockingbird was a distinct operation, unrelated to the broader media manipulation program alleged by Davis and others. Yet the very existence of a CIA project with the name Mockingbird raises a tantalizing question. Is this just the tip of the iceberg? The Family Jewels document doesn't mention a wider media infiltration program, but given the CIA's history of secrecy, document destruction, and obfuscation, it's not hard to imagine that the full scope of Operation Mockingbird, if it existed as a formal program, remains hidden in the shadows. Let's not forget the Ramparts magazine expose of 1967, which revealed the CIA's funding of front groups like the National Student Association to influence public opinion. While this didn't directly involve journalists, it demonstrated the agency's willingness to use covert means to shape narratives, lending further credibility to claims of media manipulation. The scale of the beast? A media empire under CIA control. Operation Mockingbird wasn't a small-time scheme, it was a media empire under CIA control, a sprawling network of influence that reached into the heart of American journalism. Major outlets like the New York Times, CBS, Time Magazine, Newsweek, The Washington Post, and the Associated Press were allegedly infiltrated, their journalists and editors turned into pawns in a geopolitical chess game. Key figures such as Arthur Hayes Sulzberger of the New York Times, Henry Luce of Time Magazine, and William Paley of CBS were said to have been involved, either knowingly or unknowingly, in advancing CIA agendas. But it didn't stop at U.S. borders. The CIA's reach extended globally, funding foreign media outlets, press services, news agencies, and even Hollywood productions to spread pro-U.S. narratives. Ever wonder why the 1954 animated film Animal Farm felt like a Cold War parable? Because it was funded by the CIA to promote anti-communist themes. From student groups to cultural organizations, the agency created a web of front groups to amplify its message, all under the guise of promoting democracy and freedom. This wasn't just influence, it was domination, a masterclass in psychological warfare that left no corner of the media landscape untouched. The fallout. A democracy betrayed. The fallout from Operation Mockingbird, if the allegations are true, was nothing short of a betrayal of democracy. The free press, the sacred guardian of truth, was corrupted, turned into a mouthpiece for government propaganda. The public, trusting in the integrity of journalists, was fed a steady diet of lies, half-truths, and distortions, all designed to serve the interests of the powerful. Stories that could have exposed CIA covert operations, government misconduct, or human rights abuses were suppressed, while narratives that glorified U.S. foreign policy were amplified. The Church Committee's revelations in 1975 sparked outrage, leading to reforms aimed at curbing intelligence abuses. The CIA was prohibited from engaging in activities that directly influenced domestic public opinion, and oversight mechanisms were strengthened. But did these reforms really end the manipulation, or did they just drive it deeper underground? The lack of transparency, the scattering of records, and the revolving door between government agencies and media organizations suggest that the spirit of Mockingbird may still haunt us, lurking in the shadows of modern media. The ghost of Mockingbird today. Disinformation in the digital age. Fast forward to today, and ask yourself, has anything really changed? We live in an age of advertising overload, where every click, scroll, and search is tracked, analyzed, and weaponized to sell you products, ideas, or ideologies. We live in an age of disinformation, where fake news, deepfakes, and algorithm-driven echo chambers distort reality, turning truth into a battlefield. And we live in an age of psychological warfare, where governments, corporations, and shadowy actors vie for control of your mind, using tools far more sophisticated than the CIA could have dreamed of in the 1950s. While there's no definitive evidence of a current, systematic program akin to the alleged Cold War operation, the historical precedent is chilling. The consolidation of media ownership in the hands of a few corporations, combined with the cozy relationships between government agencies and media elites, raises disturbing questions. Are today's headlines, social media trends, and viral stories truly independent, or are they shaped by unseen hands, just as they were in the days of Mockingbird? The tools of manipulation have evolved, but the goals remain the same. Algorithms decide what you see, amplifying divisive content to keep you engaged and enraged. Bots and trolls spread disinformation, sowing chaos and distrust. Corporate media, beholden to advertisers and political interests, often prioritizes sensationalism over substance, leaving you lost in a fog of lies. The spirit of Mockingbird lives on not as a single program, but as a playbook, a blueprint for controlling the narrative in an age where information is power. The spiritual battle. Breaking free from indoctrination. Here's the truth. You are not powerless. You are not a pawn in their game. You have the ability and the responsibility to fight back, to break free from the chains of indoctrination, and to reclaim your mind. This is not just a battle for information, it's a spiritual battle, a war for your soul in an age of lies. The Bible warns us in Ephesians 6:12, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." The forces seeking to manipulate your mind are not just human, they are spiritual. In this battle, your greatest weapons are prayer, discernment, and the courage to think for yourself. Step 1. Pray without ceasing. 1 Thessalonians 5:17 commands, pray without ceasing. Prayer is not a ritual, it's a lifeline. Pray for wisdom, discernment, and protection from the schemes of the enemy. Step 2. Discern with a critical eye. Jesus warns in Matthew 10:16 to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. To discern is to see beyond the surface, to question the narratives you're fed, and to seek truth beneath the lies. Step 3. Think for yourself. The greatest threat to the manipulators is an independent mind. Break free from indoctrination by refusing to outsource your thinking. Read primary sources. Study history. Seek diverse perspectives. Step 4. Share the light. Once you've broken free, help others do the same. Speak truth, expose lies, and build communities of truth seekers who will not be silenced. The call to action. Rise up, now. The story of Operation Mockingbird is not just a historical footnote, it's a warning, a revelation, and a call to action. The CIA's infiltration of the media betrayed the trust of a nation, but its legacy reminds us that the powerful will always seek to control the narrative. Today, as you navigate a digital landscape saturated with lies, the stakes are higher than ever. Your mind, your faith, and your freedom are under siege, and the only way out is through prayer, discernment, and the courage to think for yourself. So, rise up, now. Don't let the ghost of Mockingbird or its modern successors dictate your reality. Pray without ceasing. Discern with a critical eye. Think for yourself. Share the light. The battle for truth is not for the faint of heart, but it is a battle worth fighting. The God of truth is on your side, and with him, all things are possible. So, take up your weapons: prayer, discernment, and independent thought, and charge into the fray. The age of lies is crumbling, and the age of truth is dawning. Will you be part of the revolution? The choice is yours, but the time is now.
Reggie, I just sold my car online.
Let's go, Grandpa. Wait, you did?
Yep, on Carvana. Just put in the license plate, answered a few questions, got an offer in minutes. Easier than setting up that new digital picture frame.
You don't say.
Yeah, they're even picking it up tomorrow. Talk about fast.
Wow, way to go. So, about that picture frame.
Forget about it. Until Carvana makes one, I'm not interested.
Car selling made easy. On
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.